Hey guys, Bazerkins here for another video. Today we're going to be touching on the upcoming change to double legendary acquisition in 9.2. This article on Wowhead was posted about 24 hours ago, so it may be a little bit old news for some of you. Some of you it might be new, but I did want to give my 2 cents in on the subject because it affects me, obviously, and it affects all of you. Double legendaries are going to be a key power gain in 9.2. And with the news that they're going to be unlocked behind Chapter 7 of the campaign, we now know that they're going to be available on week 5 of the new patch. This has been met with positive and negative reviews. Some people saying, "Wow, great! Blizzard finally listened." Bit of a head scratcher on my end because I thought the common complaint was that it was locked behind any time gating at all. And then other people who are criticizing this heavily by saying it's going to affect raid tuning. Um, all time gating is bad. The different takes that you may see. I think I fall somewhere in between there. Although I do absolutely empathize with people who would prefer this be available on day one. I feel like when you're grinding item level as well as tier sets, um, unlocking the legendary day one would have been fine, um, because you still have plenty to chase in the weeks and months going forward on your main and your alts and all that. Blizzard saw it differently, so they're going to be releasing this on week 5 of the expansion. Now it's important to note that you can clear heroic, or excuse me, you can clear 8 of 11 heroic on week 2, which would, in theory, if you got super lucky, give you as many as 3 tier pieces. And then when Mythic raid unlocks, like all bosses will be available on normal, heroic, and Mythic. And you could get lucky, run a normal raid at that point, or heroic again, and potentially get your 4 piece by week 3. Right? Week 3 is the earliest you're going to be able to get your 4 piece because 2 of the final 3 bosses in Sepulcher actually drop the tier sets. Right? So you can only get a maximum of 3 out of 5 pieces. Not enough for your tier set. But week 3 tier sets, it's entirely fathomable that you're going to get your 4 piece bonus the same week you get your double legendary. That's a massive power spike, and that might feel good for some people. But the concern is that they're going to be tuning the raid around, um, having tier sets for the race to world first. That's obviously a very possible outcome for Blizzard to be tuning it around race to world first. And if that is the case, you're probably going to get Goomba stomped by the raid early on. You may not even be able to farm your tier pieces, which would be a real feels bad. Or they could, undertune it in the anticipation that you don't have any of this stuff. And then when you unlock all of it on week 5, you absolutely blast the bosses. I mean, just topple them over and they become a laughing stock until Blizzard buffs them. Either way, you're moving the goalposts, which is why their explanation down here. You're welcome to read this. I'm not going to go through the whole thing. I'd like this to be a relatively quick video. Um, but their explanation as to why they're doing this is because they want the legendary power gain to basically function as a nerf to the dungeon. They didn't say that specifically, but that's the sentiment, right? It's going to effectively act as a way to overcome the barriers of difficulty. Um, which is fine, but I would just prefer the double legendary be available day one. You balance around that, and then if it's still difficult down the road, you just nerf the bosses. Either way, it's going to feel bad. Um, Arguably, it feels less worse if you're gaining power as opposed to them taking power away from the bosses. But at the end of the day, people just want to kill the bosses. You know what I mean? Um, but yeah, I mean, me personally, just looking at this very selfishly, I consider the first 4 weeks to be pretty much dead weeks now because I'm not going to have my double legendary, which is important for tank characters, but important for pushing in general. When you're missing this much power, trying to push keys for IO is a big waste of time. It's normally going to be that way anyway because your item level is still not very high. But I really would have liked to see how high we could get our keys just by pushing with double legendaries on week 2 when the Mythic Plus season starts. But now, I mean, without the double legendaries, without the tier sets, I really don't get to start playing World of Warcraft in the way that I want to until week 5 of the expansion, or week 5 of the patch. Sorry, and That doesn't feel too great. Let me know if you agree with that in the comments or if you're okay with the week 5 lockout. I'm sure that, if you only play an hour a day, or you have like 3 or 4 really brutal work days or school days, and you can't get the dailies in, maybe this is great news for you, because you only have to log in once a week technically in order to complete the chapters of the campaign. Yeah, let me know what your thoughts are down in the comments, guys. Like and subscribe if you've enjoyed the video. Please provide feedback in the comments about what you think about these changes. I'd really love to hear your guys' opinions on it. And yeah, I'll see you in the next video. All right, bye bye.